I'd be, too skinny, then too fat, then whatever. And I'd get someone ring me going, you're too thin. And I was like, I even read the next magazine. I'm fat already now. But when they say overnight fame and everyone goes, no, it's not. It was. I think it was overwhelming for me. I was young. I think it was overwhelming for everyone, all the girls. I feel bad for all the girls. What I do for a job can bring out insecurities in guys, and I totally get it.
Okay, we're good to go?
Yeah.
Sophie Monk, welcome to the Stella Podcast.
Thanks for having me. I can't believe it's my first time.
I know, because you have been in Stella so many times.
Yes.
Stella's coming up to its 10th anniversary next year, and you have been on the cover, I believe, at least 7 times.
Have I?
Yes.
Is that a record or someone's done more?
I think it is. I mean, we'll have to tally it up. I'm telling you, for the 10th anniversary, we're definitely going to sit down.
Yeah.
And journalists doing maths, which is a really fun thing, by the way. That could be a
Not always right either.
TV
No, I'm joking.
show, by the way.
Yeah.
But I know that on set today, because you've just come from cover shoot,
Yes.
that our fashion director, Irene, went through some of the moments that you've had over the years, going all the way back through with also some really special moments in your life professionally, but also personally.
Yeah.
When you and your now husband, Josh, got engaged, we did a fabulous engagement shoot where we visited and recreated famous romantic comedies and romantic movies.
Then we did another cover with my wedding.
Yes.
So, we got really up close and personal together, Stella and I.
Exactly. So I'm really glad that you and I are sitting down to have a chat. What's easier for you? What feels more natural? Being on set and doing a cover shoot, and really the cover shoots with you are very iconic. I mean, there's been some real moments. It's never just Sophie in an amazing dress looking fabulous. I mean, it is those things, but there's always a real concept and a vision, and you're a great collaborator, which I think is what brings the magic on set.
Well, I think I love dress-ups anyway, and I love fashion, and then they just put it together so well. I don't say no to anything. And also recreating your look all the time is so fun as well. I think, I love like costumey, bigger, better as well. So, yeah, I'm lucky to be able to do that. I feel like Stella's kind of the only area you can really do that with fashion, with good clothes.
No, that is true. And we really love it when we're working with people that come into it with that spirit, I think, of creativity and collaboration.
Well, I think we trust you guys a lot because the product's always really good. That's why, like with say for our wedding, for instance, I couldn't find a good photographer and I couldn't find a good, I couldn't trust anyone. And I thought, that's why we called you guys to say, could you do our photos for the wedding because you know how to produce it all? That's how it came about, because you do the best pictures. And then I was like, and I love Stella, I'll do an interview.
So we know that the results on set are magical. They really are. But some people find that really intimidating. Some people are on set and whatever their off-screen persona, they just become really stilted and wouldn't, like, oh my God, just get my photo and take it and let me get out of here.
Yes.
And then sometimes I'm in the podcast studio interviewing people and some people are like, yeah, great, I could sit here for 3 hours
really,
and talk.
yeah.
And some people are like, oh my gosh, like now I have to talk.
Yeah.
How's the interview part of the equation for you as a public figure?
It depends what you're going through. Like right now I'm fine, but if there's a bad story out there, I think that's when it gets scary. It's like you're like, oh my God, and I'm too honest, I don't think, before I speak, so I can get myself in not trouble but just overshare a lot, I think. So, but I quite enjoy it, unless there's a drama or something happening, or then it's fine. It's actually fun.
So you are about to go to air with the 7th season of Love Island Australia. Now, Sophie, every year this show has water cooler moments. What is it about it, do you think, that taps into whatever is happening in the pop culture or cultural zeitgeist? It is such an incredible show.
Like the whole world's onto it now. When 7, seasons ago, people were just getting like their head around it. But I guess it's like, maths, everyone watches it. This one's like another level because also all your friends are watching it to be cool. You got to watch it to keep up on like TikTok, on Instagram. You got to watch it. So I just think it's just such a primal show. So I think you're watching it and almost relating to it like it's like your first love or early 20s of that love where you're like, no, and like you're really fighting for the person and they wear their heart on their sleeve. So it's got this innocence and beauty about it. So I feel like if you like maths, you'd like this show, but I see maths as a bit softer and sweeter. and a bit more innocent.
Wow, gosh.
I mean, they're in bathers, that's all. But if you see the innocence in their love and, it's such a beautiful show to watch, I think, yeah. And, I think that's why the young kids love watching it as well, is they relate to it. But older people do too.
They really
Everyone
do.
wants love. That's what we all want. So
I mean, I'm as I say, I'm Gen X with Millennial Rising, and I have a lot of people in my circle watch it. So I definitely do think it's one of those rare shows in 2025 that's got that cross-generational cut through, because everyone's quite siloed in their algorithm and their viewing patterns.
Love
rare.
Island's become like a moment. Like the USA one, I kind of was involved. I kind of filled in for one of the girls for the after show. And it's just so massive. Like in America, they're having like, instead of like football games, when you go to a pub, it was Love Island everywhere. And they're just
doing
screaming.
viewing parties and things.
Yeah. So it's just taken over the whole world. It's so good. So I feel very lucky to be a part of that brand. It's a cool brand, love it.
Have you had any observations about how the contestants have changed or not changed as a rule over the years, as in culture changing? I mean, over that time, obviously 7 years a long time. We've had COVID. We know the cultural impact that had on everyone's lives. We've had, the trad wife movement come up. I mean, so many things have changed over that time, the way that social media has impacted. I mean, TikTok probably even came along during that time. All the things that have changed in the backdrop of the world. Have you seen that impact the way that the contestants come to the show, the way that they interact with each other, or is it interesting in that it's quite universal and in some ways that what's at the heart of the show doesn't change?
I mean, it never does the heart of the show because, I think there's a lot of ego that gets hurt in there too, where they're like, I love that person, but it's just like getting hurt feelings. But I definitely have. I think, honestly, women are getting a lot more confident. Through the years, and it's just becoming a bit more like, it's a bit more balanced. The communication's there. Like, I feel like back in the day, you'd be like, and then go bitch to your friends. They're like, right to your face, say it how it is. Everyone's just a bit more confident, and there's not as much kind of game playing.
And what about for yourself, Sophie? Given your time on the show and the shift in your own life experience, I believe when you were flying home from shooting the first season, if I'm not mistaken, was when you met your now husband Josh on the plane. And then obviously in that time you've become engaged, got married, now been married for a few years. Living your own life as a woman from your 30s and then into your 40s, as a woman that was single, now happily married for quite a few years, has that changed the way that you relate or interact with the women on the show?
I don't know if with women it makes a difference. I'd say he's just changed everything for me. I think I lived in LA for 10 years and kind of saw probably not the nicest side of men in general, which you can't group them together either.
Of course.
So I think, just coming back and meeting someone like Josh, who's such a kind person and just, and on your side is so lovely. So I think I've grown in that way of self-confidence where you don't, you're in your own lane, that you're not competing with anyone and you're just doing your own thing. I've kind of always been like that, but even more than ever now. Yeah.
This industry can look glamorous and the reality is the opposite. This show really looks very glamorous. I mean, fabulous locations, what's not to love, beach, pool, it's the dream. What's the actual reality of filming the show on location for you?
It is glamorous. When people say, it is. It's pretty good. Like Love Island's up there with one of the best. But don't worry, I've done some shit jobs to get there. Don't worry, unglamorous, where it looks glamorous, but you're on in this little hotel that doesn't even have a shower or something over the years. So, but no, it is. It's pretty awesome, this job.
I was talking to somebody the other day who hosts a show who was remembering a time in her career where they were shooting in regional Australia in the middle of summer and it was so hot and she was in the cool room just to get her hair and makeup done like next to slabs of meat.
Oh,
Have
really?
you got some moments like that stand out in terms of the unglamorous?
I was meant to do a movie and I thought it was Barbados and it was a horror film. Anyway, I just went, okay, I'm going to go for the adventure, good to do a film. Lead, and it actually was Bulgaria. And I got there and I was on the floor for some reason shooting and I went, this is an unusual place. And they went, it's a sex dungeon. And I was like, oh, that's why. I mean, it suited the movie perfectly. There was no sex in it. It was just a horror scene.
But it wasn't quite what you had planned.
No, because I used to see the calendar. It was like Monday's this, Tuesdays. Yeah, I shouldn't have seen that schedule. But anyway, I still haven't seen that film.
Okay.
Obviously, it wasn't that great. But yeah, I think things like that, yeah.
You mentioned After Sun, which is the US show. So that's the Love Island USA After Sun, the sort of after show.
Yeah.
How's that been dipping your toe back into working in the States again, connecting with that audience? Because people, I'm really not blowing smoke here, audience. There's a huge cult following in the US from just even your recent involvement in that show.
Oh, me?
Yes,
Oh,
people
thank
really
you.
love it.
Really?
I got some comments here actually. I mean, this is from fans on Reddit. Somebody says, I don't know about you all, but I can't do accent to the accent, but there you go. But she's the reason why I watched After Sun each week. She's quirky, undeniably herself, and just so funny. And somebody else said, I love Sophie Monk. She seems supernaturally charismatic and intelligent and hilarious. Oh. I mean, I'm not just here to like pump up your tires, but this is really quite a accurate sampling of the reaction from US fans. Are you aware of that?
No, I'm not. But I don't look either. I just do my job and walk out. Like, I don't watch myself back. Because if I do, it's like everyone, you start not liking your voice or you go, God, that angle, so... But that's very flattering if that's the case. It was so fun to do. I think because it's like walking into like just kind of like a time warp of like, then I was like on Love Island set but with different people. Although it's covered with Australians, like they employ all the Australians.
Oh, do
yeah.
they?
Yeah,
oh,
the crews
good.
here is so good.
We
work
such
very
good
hard.
crews.
Yeah.
And clearly good hosts as well. But I do think it also goes back to what we were talking about. It's very rare in this industry for audiences to feel, I really feel like I know that person. And the person that I'm seeing on screen is the person that I would see if I ran into them, picking up milk at the corner store. And I think in the US, again, not going to generalise, but as you say, you lived and worked there for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the US. I was going to say, some of my best friends are American, which, like, what a cliche. True, though.
Yeah.
But we obviously know that, especially in the entertainment industry there is a level of people just not saying what they think at all. I don't know what it is. It's just something about it. We go, oh my gosh, we love you. We'll have you back next week. And that could genuinely be them thinking, by this, we both understand what I'm saying is that you're fired and you'll never see me again. I mean, those conversations happen all the
that's
time.
Kind of what America is. Or they just know, like in Hollywood, sorry, this is my experience, but it was just a lot of, like, I'd do a meeting and all they were doing was telling me how many biggest celebrities they worked with. And I was like, well, what do I do now?
Well, that's right, exactly.
But yeah, it's just a different world. I think it's just everyone in one occupation, which is unhealthy in anyone's job, So that was for me though, but other people just had it a breeze, So
let's wind back the clock a little bit, if you don't mind. So 2025. So 25 years ago, 2000, show called Popstars comes out, absolute cultural phenomenon, and of course the creation of a girl band, Bardot, and Sophie, that was the moment you were quite literally discovered on camera. Yeah. And I don't think hyperbole to say changed your life and set your life in a whole other 100%. Unforeseen direction.
Yes.
When I say that 25 years this year since Popstars, what are some of the immediate memories that stand out for you?
It was just, I think it was over, when they say overnight fame and everyone goes, no, it's not, it was. Like, I know we'd been working hard, but all of us are so young, you probably haven't been working that hard to get that level of fame that quick. I think overnight, and see, now I feel like I've got a profile. I'm not like famous, but then we were like, it was really, really big. It's hard to explain now because I think of social media, but they didn't have that. So it was just us everywhere. And I think it was overwhelming for me. I was young. I think it was overwhelming for everyone. I feel bad for all the girls in it when I look back at us. It's a shame we didn't have someone there working on our relationship as girls to stay together. I think that's where, there's a lot of fingers being pointed all the time, but I don't think it's our fault. I think if we had been, concentrated on working together, we would have lasted a few, maybe, I don't know. But it's all done now. It was only 2 years of our lives, but it was something, it was just something massive, that I'll never forget. But the come down of that's crazy too. So it's like hitting this high, and then you go, where do I belong in work? And then you kind of do some of your work, and you're like, it's not working. It's not as big because you've come off a reality show and it was massive, and you kind of just got to find your feet back into the, and work hard. And I just found I couldn't do anything else. Literally, I can't do any other job. Like it's not like I just can't. I'm hopeless at everything. So I just kind of just had to keep working and staying there, and that's kind of where I moved to acting, and somehow fell into modelling, which is a weird world too. So I just kind of, I've always been a performer, and I'll do anything performing wise. I'm just entertainer. So.
It's so true. Also, at that young age, not only is that so young, you were 19 at the time, and as you say, everyone in the band and on the show was so young. So that's a huge experience, that absolute overnight fame. As you say, didn't have the splintered algorithm in 2000. Everyone was watching it. You turn on the radio, which is a big thing that we did back then, kids.
Didn't we?
And the song was everywhere. I mean, it was absolutely everywhere.
Yes.
And I think it's so interesting what you say, Sophie, that then adjusting to that rapid come down, which is inevitable.
Yeah.
That's difficult at any point in a career.
Yes.
But I think at 19, 20, it's extremely difficult for anyone to have that awareness that, this is actually not about me. This would happen to anyone, and it could be okay, or it will all be okay, because that 2 years in your life, as we know, that's such a long time when you're 19.
Yeah, and it was really big, and it kind of just died off. And people didn't go from they went from loving you to then thinking you're lame. So you get walking down the street, it's a whole different world again. It was very vocal back then. Media was extremely different. Like the headlines were actually like, you're fat, ugly, bad, back then. But now they allude to it more like healthy.
Flaunts her curves.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But it was pretty brutal back then. So, I mean, I prefer social media now. I just think I like it that people can talk and answer for themselves and things. I think it can be dangerous for younger people, but I'd say I wish I had that back then.
I think there's really been a reckoning of how we treat women and how we treated especially young women in also the music and entertainment industry, particularly at that time. And, even in the years since, we've seen those revisions about how the culture treated people like Britney Spears, Jessica Simpson too, the fat shaming that went on there. I mean, she's spoken to Stella about it.
Yeah.
I think anyone probably under 30 would read some of the headlines that were written and they actually can't believe it.
No.
If you've ever, I'm sure you've probably seen on TikTok like younger people, men and women, reading some of the stuff that's been said about women, and they
But I don't think journos
would
would ever now. I think everyone's learnt, but some of the things, like I'd be, too skinny, then too fat, then whatever. And I'd get someone ring me going, you're too thin. And I was like, I even read the next magazine. I'm fat already now. Like, just like that. Also, it changes people around you. So then they get, and they believe what they read, some people, So back then it was craziness. But now it's a bit more chill and people aren't that interested in your personal life as much if you learn to pull back a bit. So, I find it, it's fun. It's very fun now, my job.
I think it is such a good point. It's easy for all of us to get a little bit like, it's getting worse, and especially with everyone, it's so vicious out there, and we say awful things. But when you do look back at things really not that long ago that were being said about one another and in the media and just culturally, the flow-on effect from that, because people might go, okay, sure, but you're in the public spotlight, that's what's going to happen.
Yes.
Well, no, I mean, I don't think you should be saying that about anyone. I really don't. But also, as you say, it has impact on people around you and the celebrities, but also all the people that are watching that. Think of all the people that would have read those headlines saying that you are too fat, and people going, oh my gosh, like I'm literally, twice the size of her.
Yeah.
They're saying that about her.
Yeah, it used to be very bad.
What do they think of
like,
me?
Yeah. And there's times there, like, I didn't have any work, but paparazzi's changed now. Back then, paparazzi would just, like, actually follow you, like 20 of them everywhere. And, they just catch a photo of you, jogging or being healthy, and it'd be a bad headline. But also you don't have any work. So you're like sitting there, you don't have any money. You can't turn it off, back then. Yeah. So, it's kind of like then you feel like an idiot too because you're like, I'm not even working. I need to pay my bills, and you got all that without security or...
Exactly.
It's
like the bad side of fame without the actual payoff
you want the good
for
bit
it.
too.
Come on. If this is an equation, guys, then let's, come on, have fairness on it.
Yeah. Although there is good bits of fame. Back then, though, you used to get heaps more free shit. It was so good. There was no influencers.
The
influencers now, you can go straight to the market, like, exercise, you'll go somewhere there, and but...
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, back in the day, it was...
Yeah. Look, it's certainly the same. I think in media too.
Oh yeah, you
know?
would. Yeah.
We used to be able to. I'm sure no one in the audience cares about this, but we used to be able to fund like a Christmas lunch from things that got sent in. We could do a bit of a sale, and then we would like donate money to charity, and then go out and have lunch. So a little bit about us, a little bit about the greater good. And I mean, look, I think if we did that now, maybe we'd be able to rustle up enough to buy a sandwich in the work cafeteria, because it's all going not to us.
I know, yeah.
Anyway, little violin for me and my team.
Oh no, I feel you. I think everywhere's feeling it, aren't they?
I think so. Yeah. In terms of that musical landscape too, I think that's changed since 2000. The concept of a girl band obviously really resonated, and we're just coming off, of course, Spice Girls, and then as you and I are talking here in 2025, there's not really many girl bands around. I mean, you've got K-pop,
yes,
but even that seems to be a little more like about more sort of like boy band.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask Sophie your observations on this, if this is at all something that you have any views on, because I think it might be because solo female artists are so much more prevalent now than they were in 2000. Now, of course, we've always had solo artists and icons. I mean, I grew up with people like Madonna. But right now, I mean, apart from, of course, someone like Taylor Swift, you've got so many other people like Beyonce and
Sabrina
Carpenter. Yeah. And then you've got sort of like, not the old guard, but still the sort of established guard of, Adele and Pink and Lady Gaga's touring. You've got Miley Cyrus. I just feel like female solo artists, and this are sort of everywhere. And do you think that might be something that wasn't so prevalent in 2000, which is why, and also with the Spice Girls in the 90s, why girl bands were probably...
I just think there was a lot more money to go around to try with a lot more, artists. I think, I just feel like back then it was like, everyone got to go on music. It was like, and I think it's just tougher nowadays. But there'll be a girl band around the corner. I feel like any minute.
Yes, that would be fun. Maybe you could go and host another spin-off of like Popstars or something.
Why not?
Let me ask you a little bit, if I can, about married life. We've spoken about you and Josh meeting, and then of course celebrating your engagement in Stella, and then your marriage. With the quiet wedding, just to go back to 2022, did you then have a big party? What did you do once the news was out there?
We didn't. We kind of just got on with it because I don't know. I'm not big on having attention on myself, which is so weird because look at my job; it's all about that. But I think when it like birthdays, I don't love the attention. He doesn't really either. So we kind of just I think that's why we chose to do it like that, quite low key.
You have spoken about how you're both really homebodies.
Yes.
And again, some people might be surprised by that because people have, sometimes they just assume, oh, well, of course you'd be out at fancy parties and events and actually...
Yeah, I should. I like getting invited though, but I just can't go. It's like when the day comes, I'm like, oh no, it's the ADD in me. I'm like, oh no. Or I'll think about it all week that I have to go, even though I wanted to go. Yeah, it's real weird.
Do you go to many things then? Are you a bit of a last-minute bailer, or are you just at a point where, like me, who has ADHD and social anxiety, I just decline everything now?
Like, I love people, but also I feel like if I go out, I feel so drained when I come back. I don't know why. Because I give a lot. I don't stop. And I don't think before I speak ofs. So then I'm in chatting, offloading, and then I get back and I'm like, oh my God, my big mouth, what did I say? Like, just to fill the gaps, I'll just tell a story,
Yeah, no, I totally get it. I wanted to ask you, your husband Josh told the Daily Telegraph only a few months ago, actually in June of this year, that he'd stepped back from his job in surgical robotics. I mean,
Yeah.
Sophie, wow. I like.
Same.
I
Yeah, no.
I don't. I feel like I'm not even smart enough to say those words.
No, me neither. It took me about a year to say neurological. Yeah.
I should have let
That's
you
the
say it
brain.
because I couldn't even say it.
think.
And he to fully support your career. I love this quote, so I wanted to read it back to you. He said, "I'm a cheerleader, which is real fun for me." I love that quote at so many levels.
Yeah.
But who really cares what I think about it? What do you think about that?
He's just a very secure man. I think what I do for a job can bring out insecurities in guys, and I totally fucking get it. Sorry, excuse my language.
No, you're
but
allowed to
but
swear.
oh, you?
Yeah,
Okay, well, fuck.
absolutely.
No, but I actually totally get it. Like because I'd be the same if I was in my role. Because often in movies I've had to do things, or it's just not natural for a relationship in some ways. So I try and protect that a bit as much as I can, and he's so supportive. So I just think I waited later to meet someone. I think I was just waiting for the right person, and I'm so glad I did. I wouldn't have done it, earlier without. It's just, I feel like it is if you're out there single. It doesn't matter how late you wait. It's my mum used to say it's better an empty house than a bad tenant. And I think, she's kind of right. Like,
So right.
Even though it can be lonely being single, it's like if you wait for the right thing, it's perfect. I sound like such a fucking nerd.
Oh no, I love it. And I think it's perspective. And I remember one time in an interview for Stella, you were saying how it also makes you appreciate what you have, because your words were you don't have that sort of grass is always greener perspective, whereas again, everyone's got their own journey. So some people might marry their high school sweetheart and stay together for forever. That's right. And some people might be happily single forever. And or other people might end a relationship and go, okay, that's done. The second act is just me. And then some people might meet someone. I mean, I would argue it's really not that much later in life in your situation, but and then everyone then has their own lens on that.
That's right.
Because you don't have that thing of going, oh my gosh, like this is so boring. What else is out there?
That's
because you know what else is out there.
Yeah, I've made sure I've seen the world, I've travelled everywhere. Yeah. So, it's kind of like I know that's the right thing, which is lovely. But whichever way you get there, I guess. I'm not judging anyone, but I just went the different way, I guess.
I love it. Let me ask a little bit about your acting career, because you've got a new movie coming out soon, which you're starring alongside Chuck Norris and Vanilla Ice. It's called Zombie Plane.
Yes. I mean, it's a drama.
Zombie Plane. I'm expecting to see this clearly at the best picture at the Oscars for sure. It sounds like so much fun.
It was so much fun. It's funny because Patrick, my manager, sent me the script. He's like, I've got this movie. You won't want to do it. It's called Zombie Plane. And I was like, let me have a read. And I was like, this is the best movie I've ever read. So I was like, I'm in. It's a spoof comedy. So, I mean, you can tell by the title, it's Zombie Plane. So, but the script was really funny. And Vanilla Ice is so cool to work with. And I just heard Vanilla Ice. I was like, and that he fights zombies. And I was like, you're
in. Exactly.
Yeah, it's the reason he had a one-hit wonder, because he's actually in the CIA. So that's what it's kind of about.
Oh, really? Oh, that I love. And you didn't accidentally find yourself in Bulgaria?
No,
I was in
Brisbane.
You knew where you were meant to be, and that's
right,
great.
Out. Yeah.
So, tell me a little bit about acting aspirations. Then, has this sort of relit a fire? Do you see yourself dabbling in more film?
Yeah, I mean, I do love it. I think when I moved to LA, my agents wanted me to do drama, which is. It's just not what I'm interested in. It's a little bit heavy for me. Like, it's good, but I find comedy so rewarding. So if I could do comedy movies, they're easier to film as well. They're lighter, fun. That would be great. Yeah, but having said that, I like doing everything in our industry. Just entertaining all round's fun.
It's another thing just about knowing yourself, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is there be that thing like, oh, drama, of course. That's what that's
what people should do.
That's what I should do. Yeah. And because even some of the most iconic comedic actors of our generation or multiple generations actually, will go and then do serious
Try
films.
it,
I
yeah.
mean, whether that was the late Robin Williams
Yeah.
or someone like Steve Carell, it's just that thing, isn't it?
Yeah, to show that you can do versatile, I guess. But yeah.
And then you will also see actors and performers that go, actually, that's just not my thing.
Yeah.
And I think that also just speaks to a certain level of security. But I also would argue, at the risk of sounding like a real, Pratt, it's just about knowing yourself and going,
Yeah, that's right.
Thanks.
Also, I know what my forte is and what I'm not great at as well. And I think, comedy I can kind of get away with. So. And it's fun. And I'd like to, I think after, everything I've gone through in life, I just want to be around people that make you laugh and happy. That's what I'd like to do. I think that's what everyone would like to do for their job. But yeah, if you can try.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Having said that, of course, sometimes creating comedy can be really hard work.
Yeah.
Is that your experience of it, even what you've observed on set? Because it is meant to look effortless and funny. That's
Yes.
the audience's experience. But creating things that look effortless and fun can sometimes be, backbreakingly difficult.
Oh, well, working with people that don't do comedy and they write it for you is tricky because they always think that the jokes are great, but then the delivery can be, I don't think they understand that then I've got to try and deliver that joke or whatever. But I'd say I work with really good people nowadays as well. And I do the 100 with Andy Lee. That's just on the spot. So, it's kind of just all fun and instant, the jobs I do now.
With the kind of renewed interest from the American market off the back of your connection with the audience with Love Island, After Sun USA, would you consider moving over back to the States for a while? Is that something now that Josh has stepped away from his job, is like potentially splitting your time between Australia and overseas something that's on the horizon for you?
If that came about, we would, because we're kind of free. We love travelling and doing whatever. So, I kind of haven't stopped. I haven't stopped yet to think about that. But, I'm just excited at the moment about Love Island, and I love working. I'm lucky to work with Channel 9. They're kind of like a family for me. I've never worked with any. Actually, I've never worked as long with someone. Does that make sense? Or felt like in our industry, you can kind of jump from job to job and waiting for the next thing. And so I really enjoy that relationship. Does that make sense?
It makes so much sense because prior to that, you sort of, obviously like a lot of people in your industry, there isn't that, here's the next 5 years mapped out or this is who I've worked for.
It's very few people get that in our industry. So, that's the thing. It can look like wins, but then you might have no work for a few years, I've been extremely fortunate, so that's why I'm very grateful. I'm happy with what I've won. And you don't want too much fame and success anyway. I know I've seen it all. This is how I feel. I feel like I tried over there. I saw and I was like, what am I aiming for? I'm not sure that's what my life wants, It's great, but, so I kind of, I feel like I've got the perfect balance. Let's just hope it stays there. But, at the moment.
Because it sounds as though you've got that perfect steady base in your home life and your personal life. Yeah. And then I think everyone would understand if they've been lucky enough to feel that or have that in their own
or
life.
Or not have that and have that,
have that, exactly. Yeah. Again, that perspective conversation, that from there you feel you can take more risks or not take risks if you don't want to because you've got something solid.
Less, yeah.
And then it sounds as though having that sort of regular base in your career has also provided that professionally as well.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, let's hope it just stays. Everything changes, but I'm in a good spot right now, and it's so nice to sit in that, doesn't it?
Look, we've knocked on so much wood. We haven't jinxed
seriously.
it. All right, well, let me just ask a few questions before we finish up. I wanted to start. I know we spoke a little bit about women not being pitted against other women so much, thank God, and some of your female friendships as well, because I've asked you about Josh and your marriage, but also your friendships, I know, are a core part of your identity, as I think they are with, pretty much every woman that I know, if she's lucky enough to have friendship circle. Of course, you've got some very famous friends like Jackie O and Celeste Barber. I'm sure you've got lots of really close friends that are completely anonymous.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit, if you could, just about how those friendships inform your life, because I don't think that we talk enough and celebrate enough friendship.
I think I've got a fair few friends in the industry, and it's funny, it's been like 25 years, and you don't even need to see them that much, but there's this loyalty there that I will look after them forever, like family. I think because you were so vulnerable in that age group. But outside, I've got some beautiful friends. Like I've got a friend that I've had since I was 8, because I used to do acrobatics, and I looked up to her so much because she was so good at Carly Jacobs. And she's and so I was almost like looked up to her, and she inspired me, and yeah. And then I started dancing and getting all into that as well. She was a performer, so we're still friends as well. Yeah.
Has there ever been a piece of advice that anyone's given you over the course of your career, or a couple of pieces of advice that have really stood out and maybe changed the way that you look at things, or changed a career or personal direction for you?
Actually, there's a woman, Jennifer Fontaine. I think she manages Guy Sebastian, but
I
she
know
taught me
Jen
so
Fontaine.
much. So she looked after Bardot for publicity, and the foundation that she taught me of just little things like, if you're ever in an office and you're with the receptionist, don't say anything there. And not that you bitch anyway, but if someone starts bitching, that person's they work there, so they're going to tell everyone. They're not just sitting there, and there's a 5-minute rule or something that, it's just don't say anything. Yeah, things like that. Also, media-wise, I think she taught me some foundation of they're just in me now, and helped me kind of deal with that. So, that I didn't really explain, but I'd say it's the media. It was the hardest back then, and she helped me a lot with that.
I know. I think that is really good advice, and I think the elevator tip too. Anytime you often step into an elevator,
yeah, but everyone wants to bitch in there, and like you just go shoo, 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 shoo. Like I don't know why. Not that we're bitching. It's just like you get the elevator. It's the first thing you want to do.
It's so interesting, and I think her advice
after a meeting. Yeah.
It's also like that sort of. Obviously a bit of a hangover, I think, of years past, where people would think some people are almost invisible. So it's like the taxi driver or the waiter or the receptionist or the people in the lift. It's almost like, well, I don't know them, so it's almost like they're just invisible. But they have ears, and they're observing and they're listening. Yeah. It's like a sort of a blindness that we have.
I think that's why, if you're nice to everyone, I try and be nice to everyone anyway, not just out of a motivation, but I think I've seen people do that, and it does. And also, or she said this too, careful who you tread on the way up or something, because they're going to be there on the way down. And I've seen people not do that, and it's like, sorry, she's like,
that is great advice.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to name names, and I wouldn't expect you to, but I'm sure you and I have both had people that like trod on us, or people around us, and then people will come back and go, oh, hey, now I need something. And it's like, well,
oh, God, I'd give it anyway. But you're like, it's funny, isn't it? But it does come around. You don't need to do it.
No,
I found,
it's really true. And then what about for you, Sophie? Do people ask you advice? I'm sure that they would, and I'm sure anyone listening would love to hear any advice that you have that from lessons that you've learnt, and for people that, whether they're professionally aspiring to, follow your footsteps in TV or music or film, or just the way that you have carried yourself through the spotlight in the way that you have.
Well, I just don't have a traditional job, I think, so it's all over the place. So I'm not sure I can relate in those help you with work, because mine's just everywhere. But if you did want to do what I'm doing, I think you can't even try and be anyone else. You just got to be you. Don't even because you can tell sometimes when people try and copy styles, it's not going to work. You can't be that person. Just do the best you version you can do, and that's all. That's the best advice I'd say with social media or anything. But otherwise in life, I don't know, my goal is just chase happiness everywhere. I think that's about it.
It's a good goal, and it's worked well. Yeah. I mean, you seem incredibly happy. Well, my final question then, going back 25 years, I imagine when you were standing there waiting nervously to sing those first few bars for your audition on Popstars, you could never, of course, have foreseen everything that would lie ahead in the following 25 years. No. If I asked you today to throw forward and see what you might predict or what you would like to achieve personally and professionally for the next 25 years, do you want to just have a bit of a look into the crystal ball?
I'd love to keep doing what I'm doing. I love entertaining. So I'd say that forever, and hopefully just, with Josh, just happy. That's about it. I don't like predicting because I don't want to be disappointed if it doesn't happen. So I kind of just go with the flow. I've always been like that. I've never had a plan. Just kind of chill.
Never had a plan? No.
Never had a plan.
Not a
And when
believer in the
people
5-year plan?
No. Yeah, it kind of should manifest probably, hey.
Well, I mean, whatever you've inadvertently manifested seems to have worked out pretty well.
I think I do it internally somehow, but
yeah. No, when I'm just curious. I definitely don't think that whatever you're doing isn't working. So if you haven't done a plan, I wouldn't do a plan.
Yeah.
Sophie Monk, it's been so lovely to speak to you. Love Island Australia returns Monday, October 27 at 6 p.m. on 9 Now.
Yes.
Thank you for your time today. It's been lovely.
Well, thanks for having me.
I'll see you back here, on the cover
Hopefully.
of Stella soon and back in the podcast studio.
Thanks, darling.